Hey guys, today I'm here with the Mopar Tailgate table fitting all 2018 JL Wranglers. So if you love taking your Jeep out camping, out on the trail, if you love taking your Jeep out to any events or tailgating, having an extra space to kind of take a break, some downtime, or even get some work done, do any tasks is definitely preferred, and it really makes a difference overall. So this tailgate table by Mopar will be a perfect solution for those events and getting anything done while also being located in a very convenient spot. So this is a pretty simple product. However, this is going to give you a large surface area to do any of those tasks. It is going to have 2 cup holders here for that break that you may need for lunch on the trail, and it will be able to fold up and be very compact, saving you a lot of storage space in your cargo area. You will even have these little rails here that you'll be able to mount up any accessories for some extra storage. Now, at the moment, this will be roughly $220 on the page right now, and there's not a lot to compare it to considering this is our only tailgate table for the JL. However, if we do take a step back and look at the tailgate tables for our JKs, they will be at a pretty average price point at around $150 to $200. So this will be at a decent price point. However, since it is Mopar, we are paying that little bit of a premium, but that's okay because this is built very solid. It is made of quality materials, and you can definitely tell that this will hold up over time. Not to mention it has a 2-year limited warranty to keep a peace of mind in your investment. So personally, I definitely think that you're getting what you pay for. Install is very easy. At a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, you will have to do a little bit of drilling, but that's okay because it is easy. So speaking of the install, let's jump into that now. The tools that I used for my install were a drill, a trim removal tool, a 3/8 inch drive ratchet, a 10mm wrench, a flathead screwdriver, a 1/2 inch drill bit, and a T30 Torx bit. So the first step to our install is opening up our tailgate, and then we're going to pop off this interior trim panel. I'm using a trim removal tool in order to do this. And you can just start in this bottom corner where the wiring harness is coming out from. It will give you a good place to pop this up. Then you can take your trim removal tool around the edges and just give it a good pull, pop out those clips. There you go. So if you have any of these green retainer clips left behind, you can pull them out and move them over to your trim piece. I already kind of pried them out. I used just a small flathead screwdriver, got behind it. You just have to make sure that they're pressed together in order for them to pop out. So after we have this panel removed, what we have to do is drill 4 holes in order to attach the back of our tailgate table. So they are just little indentations in here, so you will definitely be able to spot those out. So what I'm going to do is drill with a 1/2 inch drill bit. You want to make sure to drill a 13mm hole, and in standard that is 1/2 of an inch. So we can go ahead and drill that. So I just have this laying on a plastic piece right now, just so we don't drill into our table. Be mindful of that at home. This plastic piece does come out, so just be mindful of that. We can do the other side. So as you can see here, this is one of the notches that will be put on here to let you know where you have to drill. So now our next step after our holes are drilled is to pop our trim panel back on. So just make sure all your clips are lined up, and you can give it a little push and it should pop right back on. So our next step before we mount up our table bracket is to install our aluminum spacers. Now you are going to get 3 that are the same size, but you will have one that's a little bit longer, and that's going to go in this left-hand bottom corner here. So now we can mount up our bracket with the provided hardware, making sure that our little Jeep here is in the upper right-hand corner. So these will thread into the studs in your tailgate. You want to make sure that your lock washer is also on there. So now once we have our bolts all threaded into our studs on the back of our tailgate, we can tighten all of them down with a T30 Torx bit. So now we're ready to mount up the actual tabletop portion, making sure that our warning label is facing the inside. So what we can do first is just latch that on there just to make sure that it stays in place while we are bolting in the sides. Now that that is hanging there, we need to grab our provided hardware. So we will be putting a little plastic spacer in between the table and the bracket, inserting our hardware. So we want to make sure that our plastic spacer is in there and everything is lined up. And take our provided hardware, bolt that through. If you do need to relieve a little bit of pressure, you can. Then we're going to thread on the nylon lock nut. So now we can take a 10mm wrench and the same T30 Torx bit and tighten that down. You can do the same thing for the other side. So just making sure that everything latches closed. You can tell that that does have a lot of tension on that latch. So this is not going to rattle around while it's in the back of your Wrangler, making for a rattle-free design and a pretty solid unit. So now we can unclip those and lay our table down. And that has some solid tension on it, so once you unclip those, it isn't just going to fly forward. And then what we can do is take our cable and loop it around our bolts here. So you can just do the same for the other side. You can just loop it around and it's pretty solid. Personally, I think this is a pretty solid unit. This will hold up to 25 pounds. This is made of steel with a black, looks like a matte black powder coat finish on it. It's going to resist any rusting or corrosion while it's sitting on the back here. Personally, I think it folds up and is virtually invisible. Looks like it was right out of the factory, which that's what I really like about Mopar parts. So overall, I think this is a really solid unit. So that's going to wrap up my quick review and install on the Mopar tailgate table fitting all 2018 JL Wranglers. For more videos like this, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.